Hi, welcome back to Tony's Toy Room. Today we're going to be unboxing the Winston and Sandman Mondo store exclusive 1/12 scale 2-pack figures from the real Ghostbusters cartoon. I felt a little bad opening up the Ray figure before I opened up Winston, who was sitting here unopened, but well, Ray was hot off the truck and I just got a little excited. But hey, we're going to unbox our friend Winston here. I'm a big Winston fan. I liked how he played the foil to the three nerdy scientists in the movie, and I don't like when they have Ghostbusters things that only has a three. It's definitely a four person operation, and always like the fours. You got the Ghostbusters, Turtles. Probably another group of four that I'm forgetting, but okay, here we go. You saw some things fly off. Those were these little plastic corner guards that they have that Mondo puts on their boxes. It's nice that they put it on here. I mean, we're paying $200 for this, so I'm glad that the box stays intact. So we're going to see here that this is the same packaging we had with the Ray figure. So it's got the iconic Ghostbusters firehouse, the hook and ladder. Again, if you haven't been to the one in New York City, you should really go. It's really fun to check out. You can kind of walk a little bit inside, but got the Ghostbusters sign outside. So take a look at the back. I'm not sure if the back of the firehouse looks like this. I didn't go back there. Kind of wish I did. Or maybe I don't, because that garbage can looks scary. But this opens up. It's got some magnets on the flaps, and we can take a look inside, see everything in here. It's all nicely packaged up here, though, so a little hard to see what's going on. But I'm gonna take a moment here and open this up. And I can already smell that fresh plastic. There's something about this plastic. Maybe it's like a little bit of the rubber on some of it, but it's potent. It's not bad. It's just very chemically smelling. I don't know. And here we've got the little cardboard. This comes with this exclusive pack, this little cardboard thing where you can set up some little bad guys. If you had a gun, you could, kind of shoot them. Remember the original Ghostbusters toys where you could shoot the little foam pellets with the proton gun? Love that. Okay, now to unbox the figures. I'm going to unbox them here off scene, or take them out of the packaging and then kind of reveal them here. So first, we have Sandman. I keep wanting to call him Mr. Sandman, but that was the bad, I don't know if he was a bad guy, but he was one of the boxers in Punch-Out. But Sandman here, and not the Sandman, pretty tall figure here. So, pretty big. Clocks in at about 9 inches tall. Kind of like Mr. Gash, just kind of a very much a gigantic bad guy. Not as much articulation here and kind of movement, but you can move his arms up and down. His cloak has kind of a rubbery feel on these arms. It feels a little bit different. It's looser than his base. He's got these hands here and this little cloth tie on his hood. Interestingly enough, they did give him sandals. I'm not sure if his footwear was ever. I'm not sure if this is canonical for the cartoon. He's got sandals underneath there. And taking a look back, nothing too much to see here. But like a lot of good figures, it comes with some additional things. And Sandman has an additional head. Just kind of pop it on and see if I can get this on there. I think I got it on. This one looks a little bit evil, a little bit more evil. This looks kind of serious. This a little scary how happy he looks. And also comes with some additional hands. So if we want to take these off like that, one set has him, shooting his sand. People to sleep like that. I think this is pretty cool. You've got his hand there, and you can see him kind of blasting the sand out. So I thought that was a pretty cool thing that they did. I'm surprised that it, structurally kind of holds up where it's not like sagging down. I guess $200 will buy you that, but so far so good. And if I wanted to, I can even kind of still move those around or bend it up if I wanted to do something like that. Maybe have that look. You do have a few different things that you can do here, which is nice. Kind of like this kind of look where he's kind of got his hands out and casting this spell. That's pretty cool. Speaking of spells, we know that this also came with a couple of extra goodies, and I'm honestly not sure what this is. I'm not sure if it's supposed to, I want to call it a drumstick. Maybe it's a little, probably more likely it's a satchel of sand now that I think about it. It's been a little bit since I've seen the episode. But yeah, let's try that out. You can, he also has a little torch here as well, and a spell book. So if we want, we can put one of the hands on him. Oh, kind of shot off there. Get that in there. One of those, he can be holding his book, and another, we could place the torch in if we wanted to, kind of like mid-casting a spell, or of course if we wanted to, we could also put this, drumstick, but it looks like a sand satchel. It's going to take me a little bit of maneuvering to get this in here. Both these hands seem like the same way. I think one of them is more suited for the satchel than the other, but I can pull these apart and fit that in. Just been a little careful here. Obviously we just opened this up. Don't want to break anything, but confident that I could get that in there if I needed to. Worst case, you could always have him just holding the satchel like this. Just as good. Probably a little safer for him. Have a good grip on that like that. There we go. So there we have it. Sandman. Not Mr., not the, just Sandman. But what's a good evil ghost without his little hench ghost? We've got this guy here. Looks like a frozen dude. He's obviously riding a sled. You can figure that out. He's able to move his arms a little bit here as well. That's kind of cool. And another little nice tidbit you can see here is this sled is named Rosebud. So nice little Citizen Kane reference there. You can see E in the bud. I'm gonna extrapolate there and assume it does say Rosebud. And again, it's nice that it's got that little stand, so it's kind of floating, flying through. Like the little feature there. Now they never made a Sandman figure for the Kenner line that came out, so that is what's kind of nice about these new sets from Mondo. Is you're getting these characters from the cartoon who you didn't otherwise have, which is kind of funny because the cartoon came out with just some really crazy characters, which a lot of them were made in the figures, and then the figures just made even goofier things. Some even goofier bad guys like the grandma, the garbage man, the fullback, all of that. So, only other thing here, which I'm not really sure what it is, but I've got this little cloth piece here with this this little key. Almost looks like some sort of two Lego pieces put together. So if anybody remembers what the heck this is from in the cartoon, please hit me up, post in the comments. think that's about it we have for the actual Sandman pieces. So let's move on to the toy du jour, which is Mr. Winston Zedmore. So I'm a big Winston fan. Definitely don't like when there's Ghostbuster things and it only features the 3. Definitely see it as the 4, having the Everyman joining the 3 scientists. And well, I don't know, I like the 4s. I like the turtles. There's 4 of them. There's probably some other things I'm forgetting that there's 4 of, but boom. I present Winston Zedmore. So, again, this is based off of the real Ghostbusters cartoon. So, got that cartoon look. It's 1/12 scale. And Winston, if I put this just on top of the base that comes with it, he's about 6.5 inches tall. So just over, well, extrapolate that out. Yeah, what, 6.5 feet tall? Guess that checks out. Probably a little taller than I remember Ernie Hudson being. He played him in the movie. Arsenio Hall did voice Winston in the cartoon. You might remember Arsenio Hall as a 90s talk show host. Hoop, hoop, hoop. If you don't remember that, I don't know, maybe Google it. So, taking a closer look here at Winston, I do like his color. He's got that kind of light greeny, minty teal. I'm not exactly sure what to call that color. But if we take a look around, he's got his shoulder pads here. And what's nice is you can move those. So as you pose them, they're not just kind of stuck there. You can move those. He's got the Ghostbuster patch. It comes with this stand here, which is nice. You don't have to go buy that. Again, we're paying $200, kind of assume so. And then there's some nice detailing here on his suit, which apparently is a full zip there. And then he's got the little attachments, which don't actually move. One other nice couple of features noticed here is that, it does seem like there's like a little bit of a cuff there. And you might think that it's a skin color, but it definitely matches the edging on the jacket. So nice little cuff. And then the shoulders, I like this. So you can see there's a little bit of this piece here. So it allows for a little bit more movement with the hands. So you're not just stuck to just moving the arm that way. You could also then slightly adjust it out. You're going to see that really gives you a bit more flexibility and options as you're posing these guys, as you want to. Whether they're just like relaxing, hanging out like this, like he is right now, or if he's doing some busted. So, taking a look, obviously he's got his hair, which is nice because it really kind of goes with the cartoon a bit more. And also with his head, he can look up and he can kind of look down. So there is some movement. Obviously, all the figures, you can kind of move around a bit more. But it does allow you to kind of change which way he's looking. Whether it's up at Sandman, or maybe down at his little buddy there. And then his boots does have the same type of boots. And then there's they're a little unique here. It's got the ball there, but allows you to kind of move it around and place it. I like how it's set up. You can tell that these are not made by like one of the normal big toy manufacturers. It's just, everything's just a little bit different. And some thought went into it. That's just a little different than maybe some other figures you might have. I'm sure that there's other lines out there that do some things better, but it's unique. So got Winston there, but that's not it. We know Winston also, just kind of has a stoic look there, but Winston wants to get serious. This is his look. So much like Sandman, we're just gonna be able to pop his head off here, whoop, and put a new one on like that, and bam, suddenly Winston, a bit more serious, pissed off. Kind of like Ray, looks like someone just peed in his Cheerios. maybe slimed it. And so now we're going to put on his proton pack. So it's going to be basically the same proton pack that Ray had. If I wanted to, I could attach it here. There's those little things where I can just kind of put them in there. I'm probably not going to take the time to do that here while on camera. But as you see, we've got that cartoony look of the proton pack, and there's a little hook there. If we want to, you know, have it held up and have Winston just kind of walking around without actually holding the Buster. But one thing to remember is that these, you know, the gun is really just a wand. So it's not like this this handle necessarily like you'd expect with like a normal kind of pistol. So like everything, like with these, you're going to want to have a version with doing some busting. So again, it's nice that it fits on there, holds on pretty well, and I think that we can do some pretty good posing with this. Unfortunately, also comes with, just like Ray's, a trap. So with the trap, we can either have it be like this and it's not being used, and we can pose the wire to go really anywhere we want. And then, but if we want to have Winston, I don't know, catching Sandman like that, boom. Put that in there, set it up, and you can see how you can easily be on your way to setting up a nice little scene of Mr. Winston zapping a ghost. So the wire here is flexible, and so you'll just want to be a little careful when you do that, and want to make sure that you bend it in the right ways so that you're going to want the trap button to be pressing up, and then you're going to want the trap actually to be facing up as well. So it's not like a string or something like that. It's bendable. And I do like that. Does mean though that you can't, one kind of negative I would say on the trap is this doesn't come off as far as I can tell. So while Winston can hold it with his handle here on the trap, you're gonna have to figure out something else to do, like have this wire go somewhere else. That's a little bit of a bummer. That would have been kind of nice for them to kind of figure out some way to have that. You know, that way you could have the trap go on his back. You know, wouldn't have also wouldn't have minded if this came with a version in which the trap was open. That would have been kind of cool. Kind of nitpicking here a little bit, but Mondo, if you're taking notes, those are my notes. So, taking a look around, making sure I didn't miss anything. But, okay, so how does this stack up to the originals? Well, fortunately, we've got the original right here. Yep. This is original Kenner release of Winston. Mine's a little discolored here, but the color, you know, you can see it's very similar to what Winston has. I do think that the color that the Mondo figure is more legit. You know, they both have the logo on them. It does look nice. The hair looks pretty similar, but you know, it looks a lot more cartoony in the Mondo, and the Kenner looks a little bit more real hair. Obviously, there's only so much you could have done with the facial features on this small toy back then. And you know, what I always liked was the hands. I mean, they just kind of were like that, and so there were no other hands. So Winston can't actually hold anything in his left hand. I guess it's more like a club. And actually, Winston kind of looks a little bit like Sammy Sosa now that I look at it. But also no details like that, like the collars and the cuffs that match. And then, as I was kind of noting, the proton pack from the toys, original Kenner toys. I mean, I love these. Don't get me wrong. You know, it's great, but it's not like the actual cartoon or the movie where, you know, how they did is they have these things there and he's kind of grabbing that. But that's not how it was in the cartoon or the movie. So definitely more realistic with Mondo. But you know, I hate to, you know, throw some shade at the original Kenner figures, but you know, it's nice to see some good improvements here. So there's that. It's the original one, but it's not the only one I'm going to show here. So I want to show you the abomination that is the Winston Fright Features, where Winston is apparently in an astronaut outfit, and there's ghosts in space, and so when he gets scared, you're able to have his mouth open up like that, and I guess Winston's head becomes large, his tongue sticks out, he's so scared, and he's so scared that if he does that in space that he's probably dying because there's, well, no oxygen or pressure. And so I don't know how space works, right, guys, but I just know, you know, I saw, you know, Project Hail Mary. You're not supposed to be out there with your spacesuit open and your head in your stomach. But you know, these were fun as a kid. I have no idea what type of drugs the manufacturer, you know, the designers at Kenner's were doing when they created this, but they clearly had a fun time with this. He's a little bit taller. I'm not sure if it's the suit. Seems a little bit taller. Can't tell for sure than the other Winston. But so there you have it. We've got Winston, 1/12 scale Mondo. We've got, I want to move Spaceman Winston over here. Original Winston. And we have Sandman. And before I cut out, I do want you to know that even though you couldn't see it, I was wearing a real Ghostbusters shirt the whole time. Bought this one at comic store in London, whatever the big one is, kind of near the Royal Museum. But so there we have it, folks. Forgot to show you this, but here's that. Here's a cardboard cutout. So hope you enjoyed this. Runs about $200. Know that you can also buy just the Winston figure separately if you're not interested in Sandman. So until next time, do have some more Ghostbusters toys to show you coming up soon. So you know, be sure to check those out. Thanks.